All right, today we're going to talk about something called the crisis brain. Okay, so let me ask you something. Does this sound like you? In an emergency, you are the person. Cool, calm, you get things done. But then, you get home, look at your inbox, and just the thought of answering one simple email feels impossible, like you're completely paralyzed.
And if you've ever beaten yourself up over this, called yourself lazy, I really want you to hear this. It's not a personal failing, it is not a flaw. It's actually a pretty well understood psychological pattern. See, your brain isn't broken, it's just wired for survival, not for the mundane day-to-day stuff.
So let's start with the first part of this whole thing, which is kind of like your superpower, that amazing ability to stay calm when chaos is erupting all around you.
And yeah, this really just lays out the whole paradox, doesn't it? In a crisis, you're focused, you're adaptable, you're totally regulated. But with a to-do list, suddenly you're drained, you feel paralyzed, overwhelmed. It's like two different people. So how is that possible? How can one person be both?
Well, a big piece of the answer comes down to this really cool concept called stress inoculation. And you can think of it almost like a vaccine for your brain. If you've been through a lot of tough, high-pressure situations in the past, your brain has basically been trained. It's learned not to panic.
And that's the key, right? For you, chaos isn't some scary unknown. It's familiar territory. Your mind already has the playbook for survival because it's been there, done that. And you're not steady because you don't have feelings. You're steady because you've learned how to manage them by surviving even tougher stuff before.
Okay, but that brings us to the flip side of this coin. If you're so rock solid in a crisis, why do the little, everyday tasks feel so crushingly heavy?
I mean, this is the real question, right? You can handle a genuine emergency, but a routine task makes you just want to shut down? Well, it turns out there are some very solid reasons for that.
Okay, first off, your brain is basically an efficiency machine. It's always doing a quick cost-benefit analysis. It hates wasting energy on stuff that seems inefficient or pointless. Now, a crisis, the outcome couldn't be more meaningful. It's about survival. But folding laundry? To a brain that's wired for these high-stakes moments, the reward just doesn't seem worth the effort. And then there's this other piece, something called psychological reactance. And this is fascinating. It's not just about being stubborn. It's that automatic, gut-level no you feel when someone tells you what to do. It's actually a defense mechanism, your brain's way of protecting your freedom and your sense of autonomy.
So this is how it plays out in real life. That to-do list you made? Yeah, even that can feel like a list of orders instead of choices. And your brain, which is hardwired to protect your independence, just instinctively pushes back. It's not defiance for the sake of it, it's actually a sign of a really self-directed mind. You want to choose what you do, not just blindly follow a routine.
All right, let's talk about the third piece of this puzzle. This one explains where all your energy is actually going. We're talking about the exhaustion that comes with being a deep thinker.
See, if you're someone who analyzes everything, your mind probably never really shuts off, right? It's always running scenarios, weighing options, thinking about what could happen. And that's not just daydreaming, that's real work. It uses up a very real, very finite resource, your mental fuel.
So let's just walk through how this happens. You think about a task. Your brain immediately starts planning it out, evaluating every single choice, predicting all the possible outcomes, and suddenly you've expended all this mental energy. By the time you're supposed to physically start the task, you're already exhausted. You've basically run a mental marathon before even lacing up your shoes.
And this is such a key point. What looks like laziness from the outside is often just the invisible exhaustion from all the mental work you've already done.
Okay, so what do we do with all this? Where does this leave us? Well, it gives us a chance to stop fighting against ourselves and instead start working with how we're wired. And I absolutely love this quote. What looks like a lack of discipline is often just a self-directed mind. It just flips the whole script, doesn't it? It's not that you lack discipline. It's that you have a mind that's hungry for meaning, for efficiency, and for freedom.
And this is the reframe we're talking about. The old story says you're lazy. The reframe? No, you just resist wasting energy on things that don't matter. The old story says you lack discipline. The reframe? You're actually selectively disciplined for the important stuff. You're not resistant, you're protecting your autonomy.
So this is really the heart of it all. Stop trying to force yourself to be someone you're not. Start working with your brain, not against it. The goal is to build a life and systems that actually fit your nature, instead of constantly punishing yourself for not fitting into someone else's box.
Look, your past has shaped you, it's wired your brain in this very particular way, and that explains so much about who you are right now. It explains your strengths and your challenges, but it doesn't have to define your future. So the real question becomes, now that you understand this about yourself, what are you going to do with it?